The Mike Gallagher Show on Salem News Channel and the Salem Radio Network.
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No. It doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United? Waiting, 30,000 people are waiting. That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that.
In the ReliefFactor.com studios, here's Mike.
Yeah, that was a doozy of all doozies, wasn't it? Bernie Sanders, what do you think I'm going to do? Stand on a line, a waiting line to get on a plane? I'm Bernie Sanders. The good thing about the Democrats is they just can keep doing what they're doing. Just keep saying it. Keep reminding the country who they are, what they represent, what they stand for. If a conservative spat on some Democrat politician or a Democrat administration official, that's all we'd be hearing about. The violent MAGA. Don't you love that? That's what makes January 6th so frustrating. Because if the left didn't have January 6th, they got nothing. They got nothing. Once in a while, I'll see something pop up on social media. How January 6th isn't a deal breaker. What do you mean a deal breaker? What's the deal breaker? That 1,000 people behaved stupidly that day? Often being aided and abetted by compliant police officers who ushered them in to the Capitol? You think that's a deal breaker? But the frustrating aspect of January 6th, and I knew it when it happened, I thought they'll never let this go. They'll take this one event, and face it, it was one event. How many events did we have after George Floyd died? How many events do we have this week? Look at Brooklyn College. Look at the madness with all the pro-Palestinian activists fighting and assaulting. 2 cops got taken to the hospital yesterday. Now you hear the people screeching about January 6th. What are they going to say about what happened at Brooklyn College yesterday? Dozens of arrests, injured police officers, pro-terrorist demonstrations. Nothing. Crickets. Silence. So I like it when they talk. I like it. And look, I think the Joe Biden conversation is important to have. I could be wrong. My gut tells me, on the one hand, I don't care what Joe and Jill Biden are saying on The View. I wouldn't watch that show if you held a gun to my head. Because the clips that I have are just painful. I mean, they are painful. They hurt. These women are dumber than a box of rocks. But there goes Joe Biden and Jill Biden sitting there, and it went every bit as badly as you thought it was going to go. And I don't know what he's trying to do. Why doesn't he how many times did you honestly see Bill Clinton give interviews, or Barack Obama, or George W. Bush, or George H.W. Bush? What's Joe Biden attempting to do now? I don't think he has a book, does he? Why is he going on The View and embarrassing himself? Jill Biden has to come to his rescue. If you haven't seen this and you're watching today on Salem News Channel, brace yourself, because this is as bad as you think it would be. I mean, this is what they tried to cover up during the Biden presidency, and here he is, stumbling out to the set on The View and embarrassing himself.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things and
Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone, reading his briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. The White House, being president, is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
I turn it off. I can't take. I'm so embarrassed for the two of them that she's coming to his rescue because it was so horribly bad for him. He's babbling like an idiot, and she steps in to try to assure the country that being president is hard. Like nobody knows how hard it is. We get it, Dr. Jill. How pitiful. What's his point? I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here. It's great for our side. It really is. Let him keep talking, I guess. Make the media rounds. You better take Jill with you because she's going to have to bail you out. I just wish I knew what he was trying to achieve here. Do you understand it? Do you get it? Because I'm at a loss. And is it important, or should we just completely ignore whatever Joe Biden has to say? 800-655-6453. Speaking of the MyPillow text line from Dallas, Mike, you don't have to wonder what the parents of the young woman who spit on Ed Martin think. They raised her that way. California, Judge Jeanine will take the job because she's a warrior and she loves our country, even if she takes a pay cut. Oh, she's going to take a pay cut, all right. You're going to take a big pay cut. And I think you're probably right. Great people like Judge Jeanine probably put their country ahead of their own sort of circumstance. I mean, she doesn't have nearly the impact as even U.S. Attorney in D.C., although it is a very influential job that impacts national policy in a major way. Incidentally, no matter how bad a day you're having, it's not as bad as Letitia James, the vicious New York Attorney General who campaigned on the platform of getting Trump. And she came up with all the bogus charges and everything and prosecuted Trump and tried to get him locked up and tried to impact the election. I mean, Letitia James did all she could to cheat Donald Trump out of the election. That's who she is. Listen to what happened to her in Westchester County. A citizen went up. She was on some panel in Westchester County, and a guy took his camera and he went up to the microphone and he did this.
My question is for Tush James. Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud? How's it feel? How's it feel, Tush? How's it feel, Tush? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Trump 28, baby.
Escorted him out of there in a hurry. The crowd didn't seem to like it very much, and she didn't like it. When he said, how does it feel to know you're headed for prison, she had a very unpleasant look on her face. Look, perhaps she bit off more than she can chew. And she took on Donald Trump and took on the American people. Let's face it, that's what that kangaroo court was all about, trying to subvert the will of the people. Professor Jonathan Turley on Fox Business Network yesterday laid out the legal case against Letitia James. If you haven't been following this, or Tush James, as that guy called her, that's his nickname. It's actually Tish James, but let's not get picky. Jonathan Turley points out there's great irony in the legal challenges that she's facing. You see, the FBI apparently and the Justice Department are now investigating the Attorney General for mortgage fraud. And Jonathan Turley points out there is, for many who are enraged at what she tried to do to Trump, a delicious irony at play.
The James defense team is saying that there were contradictions that were corrected, that, for example, that home was the primary residence of the other signatory. But there are contradictions here. It's an ironic defense because they're saying, look, if the bank simply looked into this on their own, they could see, that these were more units than just 4, that this was not the primary residence of James. That's a type of understanding and leeway that she refused to allow to Donald Trump. She insisted that everything that was signed in her name, and it was signed in his name, I should say, really are bound legally to him. And so they said you have an obligation to make sure everything filed was absolutely accurate. So the karma is crushing here. But the greatest irony, of course, is to hear her counsel and her spokesperson say, this is just wrong because Trump campaigned on moving against his enemies. For those of us who have covered this litigation for years, having those words come out of the mouths of James' staff really is breathtaking. She campaigned on a promise to bag Donald Trump on something. She didn't even bother to name what it was. She literally campaigned on the promise that she would nail him on anything, and then she filled in the violation later.
It is crazy. It is breathtaking to recognize she campaigned on a pledge of weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the court system, and now she's whining that Trump is weaponizing the court system against her. You can't make it up. Historians are going to look at all this 100 years from now. They're not going to believe it. They are not going to believe any of this happened.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.